This podcast is powered by The Plug. The Connect with graffiti.
All right, man. Once again, I'm in the building. I'm so excited, man. I'm excited. We just did a podcast before the podcast on accident, man. It's so good to reconnect with this brother right here, man. Dr. Halim Ali, man. What's going on, brother?
Oh man, come on now. That's too broad of a question to say what's going on, because there's so much going on.
Yeah, it's so much.
Where do we start?
This is where we start.
Where do we start?
How's your mental?
Ooh, how's my mental? Oh man, brother, you're so beautiful. I start every session off and I ask my people on a scale from 1 to 10, combining your 4 bodies, your mental or psychological, your spiritual, your physical, and your emotional. When we combine those 4 bodies, where are you? And I'm always flying high spiritually, always strong physically, stay at a 10, always strong psychologically and mentally. But where my challenge lies is emotionally.
Oh, okay. Expound on that a little bit.
See, emotionally.
Okay.
Right? I feel like there is an innate anger that we harbor as men oftentimes. This hyper-masculine culture suggests competition so much that we move in hyper-masculine energy.
Right.
So what I've had to consciously do in the past 2 years, tap into my divine feminine.
Okay, y'all see why I'm excited? Y'all see where this is already about to go, man? I'm like, let me throw the notes out of here, man. We about to just flow because he's already on something I wasn't even. All right, expound again, please.
Let me tell you, the moment when I began to consciously and actively work on my divine feminine. I was in Austin, Texas, visiting my daughter. Shout out to my baby girl, Shree, in Austin. And we're driving down the street, getting some coffee in the morning. And she pulls onto the highway and she stops. She doesn't merge. And I'm nervous. She's just talking like nothing's going on. I'm nervous. I'm like, this girl about to get us killed. Cars are zooming by 70, 80 miles per hour. And the masculine part of me wanted to say, girl, what are you doing? Drive, go. What are you doing? But I said, calm down, breathe. We finally merged. And I was patient in that moment. Later on, my son-in-law, while we were riding, he said to me, he's like, Pops, about 5-6 years ago, Shree was in a pretty bad accident. And so she's very apprehensive in traffic. And what I said to myself at that point, I said, okay, because it was a revelation. I said, so the divine feminine requires a certain level of patience, but a certain level of knowingness that the answer to the question will be revealed in time, not my time. See, the masculine demands now, my time. I control the clock. Instant gratification generation. I got to have it now. We got to do it now. I'm the boss. I need to control the narrative.
Right.
But the divine feminine is totally opposite. It's controlling, checking your emotions, checking your anger, doing a head check like, okay, when that feeling arises and it starts in your solar plexus, I examine that now. What am I feeling? And then I label it. I don't label it anger no more. I don't label it, okay, you got to get on the defense.
Yeah.
Now I label it like excitement. Or I'll label it anticipation, or I'll label it like, ooh-wee, I'm about to light them up if I'm about to speak or something.
Yeah.
Right? Because it's the same feeling.
Yeah.
We just label it something that it may not be.
Man. That's real.
So that's that divine feminine piece, family.
Divine feminine piece.
The yin and the yang.
Yeah. Okay, I like that.
You feel me?
I like that.
The yin and the yang. Think about this. And this is real spit. The yin channel begins from your productive organs and rises up and stops at your tongue. The yang channel goes from the base of your spine and comes over your head and stops at the roof of your mouth. So when we meditate, that's why we are to keep our tongue positioned, touching the roof of our mouth to keep our chi circulating. The divine feminine and the connection of the divine masculine.
Right.
Don't get me started on my doctor stuff.
Yeah. I was about to say, man.
Okay, go ahead.
So this is what we're gonna do.
This is part 1, y'all.
Yeah, because there's gonna be much more. But right now,
Yes, sir, please.
let's start from, I don't want to say the beginning, but let's just rewind. Somebody might be out there listening like, okay, this is powerful. Who is this brother talking? Who are you? How would you define who you are in this moment? Who are you, Dr. Halim Ali?
My brother, I appreciate that question. In the macro, a spiritual being on a human journey, for sure. A channel, a conduit for the energy of the ancestors, the energy of the prophets that have lived, the energy of slaves who were unable to have a voice, the energy of all oppressed people to use to express what they could not express, right? So now, from the time you and I connected last, 12, 13 years ago, I was put in the belly of the beast for about 403 days. And I saw so much suffering behind that wall when I was incarcerated. And I lost everything. This was 2014, 2015. And I surrendered. At that point, I surrendered.
Yeah.
Because that's when I was running the limousine company, still Don Blas, flirting with music. But my Don Blas stage of life had passed, but I was attempting to hold on to it because who am I without music?
Yeah.
I had rooted my identity so much in music that when I was in the studio unable to produce a hit, it led to addiction. I'm attempting to get high. Weed can't get me high enough. I got to try something else because I'm chasing this hit. I couldn't produce. The season had ended. We oftentimes hold on to seasons longer than we should.
Man, listen.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So I was holding on to this season. When I got sat down, I knew exactly why I got sat down. I know because I was out here fornicating. I was moving around. I was being lawless.
Yeah.
And I know too much to be lawless.
Yeah.
But I didn't want to adhere to the calling, bro. And nobody want to get serious about life. Everybody else having fun. I want to keep having fun. Well, I got to be the only serious one in the room.
Right.
So,
Right.
So that's how I looked at it. But when I sat down, I surrendered. You know, okay. Obviously, up to this point, I've done what I felt like I could do with my life. And I've had some victories and I've had some losses.
Yeah.
But right now, it says the end of suffering is enlightenment. Now, whatever you see as enlightenment, or the viewers out there see as enlightenment, that's enlightenment. It's not for me to define what enlightenment means to you.
Right.
But my enlightenment came through introspection and looking at those different passages of my life. What was the thread that connected my first passage to my second passage, to my third passage, to this fourth passage? And when we're talking about these passages, just to give them context, in African philosophy, we observe 5 passages that every living being must go through. The first passage is through the birth canal. The second passage is adolescence. This is where you're finding your voice. The third passage, this is when you're buying your first house. This is when you're having a family. The fourth passage is eldership. This is the passage I'm in.
Yeah.
And in eldership, for me, it's the give back passage. It's the put these youngsters under my arm and show them how to get through it, how to navigate, right? To be a demonstration of strength, to not talk about it, right? To be the message you bring in the song that you sing.
Yeah.
To be the fruition, right? To have gone beyond belief, to have gone beyond faith, and to have reached a point to where you are the song you sing and the message you bring. Fruition, the fruit. You don't have to step in a room and tell people I'm this religion or I believe in this. No, they can see your light.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
You bear a certain light that is irresistible. I'll say that. That's irresistible, brethren.
Yeah.
It's irresistible. So in this fourth passage, I see a lot of our brethren and a lot of our men still thinking from a second passage perspective, even though they done hit that 40-year mark. They still chasing things of the world, the same things they were chasing when they was 21, 22.
Yeah.
So they've wasted decades of their life. So when I came home, I remember in surrendering, because a lot of times we'll ask the Most High for grace, mercy, but when we're delivered, we forget. You know what I mean? And we get right back to it.
Yeah.
I didn't forget.
Yeah.
I didn't forget. So my first event where I knew that I had to do something, and this is going to lead up to some other conversation, but it was January 2nd, 2016. It was a suit gifting event called Rags to Redemption. I had gotten about 200 suits from Men's Warehouse out of LA. I had just walked in probation offices and parole offices like, look, we want to give men suits. So we
Right.
had a turnout of about 140 men
Getting suits.
getting suits.
All right.
But here's the thing. They didn't get the suits till the end of the day. I made it a job fair. I had felon-friendly employers come to talk about the hiring process, the application process. I did a keynote speak, and then we fed the men, and then I had personal stylists from Nordstrom come in and help the men find their size.
That's dope.
So it was fly.
Yeah.
But something very significant happened that day. As I'm going around after I give the keynote, shaking hands, talking to the men that were there. I'll never forget this. There was a Caucasian gentleman that he was about 53, 54 years old from Alabama or Arkansas, had never had a suit on his back in his life. He had just got out of jail. He had been out of jail for 3 days after serving a 10-year bid.
Okay.
All right? And he was talking about how he didn't want to come. How I didn't want to come, but I'm so glad I did.
Yeah.
Okay, shake hands, get your suit, it's all good. Okay, that's part of the past. What's next? A couple weeks later, maybe 2 months later, I was speaking at another organization's event. It was actually Second Chance Center, right? Shout out to Second Chance.
Yeah.
And this man was there, and it was a room of about 60 people. And he stood up, and he said in front of everybody, now, I can't make this up. I get chills up my neck.
Yeah.
Because to experience this, to have another human being say this directed towards you, it was the most liberating experience I've ever had. But he stood up in front of everybody. Now, when I saw him 2 months ago, he didn't have any fronts in his mouth. He was missing a few teeth, wasn't gainfully employed. So he smiled, talking about, I got my teeth fixed. But what he said was, he said, I went to this man's event 2 months ago, and he gave me my humanity back.
Wow. His humanity.
His humanity back.
Wow. That's heavy. That's heavy.
I'm not gonna cry on you, even though I could.
Hey, man, I'll get you there.
But you feel me though?
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
what another human being said to me.
Yeah. His humanity.
This was the reward that I didn't expect. This is the reward that money can't buy. Your material possessions. This is the spiritual reward that only the those that are dedicated to the kingdom can appreciate.
Right. Right.
And that's why I carry it. So from there, I knew that I was in the right lane. But up until that point, I still hadn't found my niche. I was going to work with reentry, addiction, things of that nature. But I'd say fast forward to 2018, I became a member of the prevention team at Denver Human Services, an organization called DPALS, Denver Parent Advocates Lending Support. And what we would do, we would go to court with parents who had their children taken away because of neglect and abuse. And we would advocate for the parents, and the parents would have to go through, if it was a father, they would have to go through our parenting classes, fatherhood classes, but I would have to sign off on their certificates in order for them to integrate their children back into their lives.
Okay.
And we had probably a 78% success rate.
Yeah.
So I did that work for about two years, and I trained and certified single-handedly over 400 people through the department. These are department numbers now. So I was making my bones. I wasn't really, making bread, but I was making my bones. I was paying my dues.
Right. Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Because it's not about, like you said, when you came in, you said it's not about the bread.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, yeah, we need it to live, but seek ye first the kingdom of heaven, and all else shall be added unto you.
Mm-hmm.
You seek first the world, you seek first the bread, then guess what? Your health will elude you.
Yeah, yeah.
Your creator will elude you.
Yeah.
You may lose your family. In seven Habits of Highly Effective People, Stephen Covey says, a lot of us on climbing the ladder of success, we get to the top rung only to realize that the ladder was leaning on the wrong wall.
Come on, man.
And our success has come at the expense of everything we love.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm successful, but I don't have no friends.
Yeah.
I don't have no family. My kids don't talk to me. You know what I'm talking about? So your success has come at the expense of everything you love, right? So there could be no earthly salvation in that context. So you know, that's, I don't know if I answered your question,
No,
but at
you
the end of the day.
did, and you gave me a few, man, some gems, of course, but a few things stood out for sure.
Yes,
so,
sir. My man.
You know, moment of transparency. When I came in, I was a little frazzled because I've been having a day, man. You know how it goes.
Yes, sir.
And when you broke down passages, I needed that in that moment because I'm at that fourth passage that you said.
Come on, man.
And I didn't realize that's what was happening. And so, again, just harking back to when we first connected in a totally different season, you know, I'm coming into parenthood. I'm, you know, my first real relationship and engaged, and I'm trying to figure it out. At that time, I'm Mr. Entertainment, you know what I mean?
Yes,
we running around, it's music, it's
Come on.
clubs, it's events, and it's like, all right, man, I'm about to be that dude. All right, fast forward. Now it's like, okay, I've done that. But I'm still sitting in that season, and that season ain't comfortable anymore. So it's a weird transitional period where it's like, okay, like you said, damn, I done got to the top of what I envision the ladder to be from a certain perspective. Because of course, you know, we still got bigger dreams.
Period.
But I've got to the top of what I was trying to accomplish these years back. I've done that now.
Come on.
And it's kind of like, what's next? Because what I thought was next ain't what I want anymore. So, you know what I mean? So everything you're talking about is hidden because it's like, damn, that's exactly where I'm at right now, bro. Like, even as I'm doing this, I do this, again, because I enjoy this. I like these conversations. I know there's stories to be told. I know, you know, people want to tell the stories. I know I have the platform to do it. But I'm not doing this to, you know, have the biggest show and get the $1 million. Sure, man, that'd be cool, but I just know I'm doing it.
Come on.
So there's opportunities that are on the table right now that consist of that. But they also directly, you know, oppose what I'm talking about. you know what I'm saying, right? And you know, anybody in the arts and entertainment world, they know what I'm saying. It's like, man, what do you sacrifice to hold on to, you know, why you do this? And I'm at that right now, bro. So when I told you timing is divine, bro, like, yeah, yeah, we needed that.
And brethren, and it's so much that I could say. But one of the things that I'm being called to speak on, Michael Beckwith, he talks about the 4 stages. I like to call them the 4 stages of consciousness.
Okay.
Right? That the lowest level of consciousness in the first stage of consciousness is the victim mentality. The to me. Everything is happening to me. Mm-hmm. Nobody likes me. Nobody, right? This is and a lot of us get stuck within that conscious level. But the second level, after the victim, the to me, you have the by me, the what they call the manifester consciousness. So you start to see that you can think of a thing and you see it in your mind first, and then you begin to produce something. So you produced this. Mm-hmm. You saw this in your mind, these signs, this show, it existed in your mind. So now, once you can do something and you can see that you have been given permission to be a co-creator in life, that you have the right to create your destiny now. You don't have to go through the change. No, I get an opportunity to direct the change. Mm-hmm. I don't just have to go through. That's victim going through the change. Whatever happens, happens.
Right.
That's victim.
Right.
See, so when we hit this by me, the manifester consciousness, they call this the Nike stage, the just do it, the make it happen stage. But when we get to that third consciousness, this is the through me. This is the this conscious level is the channel conscious.
Right.
You've connected with the universe. You've connected with your higher being and your higher purpose. And now invisible things are made manifest. Right? And what ends up happening in this passage is so not this passage, but in this consciousness, in the second consciousness, it's make it happen. In the third consciousness, it's make it welcome.
Mm.
You ain't got to fight no more.
Make it welcome.
Make it welcome.
Right.
You ain't got to fight no more. See, what ends up happening as you're transitioning from passage to passage, there is what I like to call an etheric double.
Mm.
An etheric double where the third passage overlaps the fourth passage just for a minute.
Yeah.
So you in that overlapping, that etheric double.
That's that awkward, confusing.
You feel me?
Yeah.
That's that etheric double.
Yeah.
Because it's pieces of this passage that you know, that you're familiar with, beckoning you and calling you.
Yeah.
And then it's this passage that is unknown, this new journey, right? And we're a lot of times hesitant to move into the unknown. Naturally.
Yeah, naturally.
Human nature.
Yeah.
Right? But the fourth stage of consciousness, just to bring that full circle, is the as me consciousness. And this is the unity consciousness. When you become one with the universe, it's no separation, right? It's no longer a separation between you and your thoughts, you and your deeds. You become impervious to where to where you can't do certain things no more.
Yeah.
I can't waste time. I can't just, I feel guilty. I mean, ain't nothing wrong with going to the club, but at the end of the day, it's certain time, time becomes, in this fourth passage, you start to look at it a little bit different.
Mm-hmm.
And you say, you know what, I've wasted a lot of time.
Yeah.
And so right now, this is a passage where I'm writing a book, where I'm mastering my martial arts, where I'm mastering the piano, where I'm mastering all the things that I didn't master in previous passages. And Robert Greene, he tells us that 10,000 hours in any specific field makes you a master.
Right.
So I had to stop, family, and I had to look at, before I came home, I said, all right, where do I have 10,000 hours? In what areas? Okay, you have 10,000 hours in entrepreneurship. You have 10,000 hours in spirituality, the sacred olive groves.
Right.
You have 10,000 hours in the Shaolin Temple in terms of martial arts. Right? You have 10,000 hours in education. So let this be your life's focus. If you can monetize these things, because, and I know I'm throwing a lot at you, but
no, you good.
I want to say, when we talk about the cultivated gardener and the uncultivated gardener, the uncultivated gardener, and one of my mentors told me this in 2008, the uncultivated gardener will take the waste and the compost off of his land at the end of the season, throw it away, and go buy fertilizer.
Yeah.
But the cultivated gardener, he'll take the same waste, compost, recycle it, and then use it to redistribute over his crops, to use that as fertilizer so he's not losing anything. Mm-hmm. So my mentor's point when he told me that was, Halim, you don't need to learn nothing else. All you have to do is catch up to what you know and begin to implement that.
Man, that's heavy.
Look here.
That's heavy.
I'm gonna hand it back over to you. Where you want to go?
Because that's exactly what it is, though, man. Like a lot of times, like as cliche as it sounds, it's always just right there in front of your face to begin with.
Come on.
And that's why I say it's interesting, man, because my friends joke and stuff because they be like, man, you're the most popular, most famous. And I don't ever look at it like that. I'm just I'm chilling. I would be doing this at home anyways. And so when you garner certain attention, it's like, nah, y'all, that's not what I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like I'm doing what I've been doing, but now I'm naturally doing it for a different reason. And trying to understand that reason was the hard part. But it's like, it's obvious. You like to connect, bro. You like to build. You like to gain knowledge. You like to educate. And so professionally, that's where it gets confusing because it's like, all right, what do I do? You know what I mean? What am I, like you said, the 10,000 hours. Yeah, I got 10,000 hours.
Come on.
I got 20 in the wrong. And
I didn't want to talk about that, but
you know what I'm
yes,
saying?
sir.
Yeah, so yeah, man, we're gonna put a pin in that because this is gonna be an ongoing conversation. But I do want to touch on a few things, man. From the heart, let's talk about that. Let people know what From the Heart is, how that came about.
From the Heart is so cold. From the Heart is its own living, breathing organism at this point. It's bigger than me.
Yeah.
I built something that's bigger than me, and it's led me to study people like Mother Teresa. It's led me to study people like, Kwame Ture, when Kwame tells us that the difference between mobilizers and organizers, and how mobilizers are those who when there's a social condition that has arisen, right? They come out, George Floyd, okay, let's mobilize around this.
Right.
But the organizers, we stay at the neck of the system that created and continues to create these disparaging social conditions. So we're not moved by the condition. We're attempting to move the needle behind the condition that continues to create the condition that has been continuing to create this condition from Fred Hampton or Medgar Evers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like the condition has been existing for us. You know what I'm saying? But we rally and then we lay down, assimilate, rally, lay down, assimilate, rally, lay down, assimilate.
Never end the cycle.
You understand me?
Yeah.
So it's hamsters on a wheel. So with From the Heart, brother, when I tell you, the goal with From the Heart originally was to bring together all the men on my mother's side of the family, the younger men in my generation, and the men on my father's side of the family, and to do things for the community because that had never been done. So I wanted to bring, on my father's side of the family, we were gang members, drug dealers, we were doing all this, wreaking all this havoc. And then on my mother's side of the family, there was more college success and being guided in the right way, things of that nature. So my goal, and it happened for about 2 months.
Yeah.
And when I tell you, my family didn't believe in the vision. They thought I was crazy. They did damn near cuss me out. Most of them don't even talk to me because I've made this thing so successful.
Yeah.
But they were at the table. It's just like when Bill Gates had 11 of his friends in his garage and said, look, I'm about to pop this thing off. I need $1,000 from each one of y'all. And only 3 people gave him $1,000. The other 8 thought he was crazy, right? So my thing is, with From the Heart, it has become such a tremendous vision. And now I'm looking at it, when we talk about the triple bottom line theory, we're talking about social equity, global impact, and a sustainable bottom line.
Yeah.
That's what From the Heart
Love
really
that.
is. So when we talk about our mission to uplift fallen humanity, one man, one woman, and one child at a time through purposeful programming and community events.
Yeah.
So I took part of what I received at Human Services, because a lot of times we'll get these gifts and these skills, but we'll continue to use it for an agency
Yeah.
that, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I just took them skills and I said, you know what, let me take it to the people who need it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, yes, they need it, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of Sadducees and Pharisees in that space, if you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely.
Let me bring it over here to the youth who are going through what I've gone through, because statistically speaking, young men, especially who are between the ages of 8 to 18, who have a positive male role model in their life who look like them, are 50% less likely to get involved in the criminal justice system. You understand me? So I started taking all these young men out under my arms that don't have daddies in their life.
Yeah.
My black men, it's really time to stand up, right? Because I look forward to the day when From the Heart won't be needed.
Yeah.
Once a year, in April this year, I've been doing this since 2017. I take about 30 young men up to La Ferre Retreat Center in Black Forest, Colorado Springs for a 4-day Rites of Passage program.
Okay. Rites of Passage program.
Rites of Passage.
Okay. Yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
you understand me?
Yeah.
As they go from their first to their second
Yeah,
passage,
yeah, I
let
was
me
gonna
guide
say,
you
there
into
we go.
this.
Yeah.
You feel me, King?
Full
But
circle.
this is the culture that we lost in the transatlantic, right? That is in us to do, but our internal dialogue be so loud sometimes that we can't hear the voice of our Creator speak. We can't hear our ancestors speak. Last April, I had a mother, because I spend about a month prior to the event, 2 months prior to the event, convincing probation officers, because most of my guys are on probation, ankle
Yeah.
monitors, things of that nature.
Whole process.
So, yeah. So the parents get there at about 4 or 5 p.m. on the first night. We usher them in. The youth get their bunks, their assignment, right? All of those things. I had a mother come up to me, because my youth now, I tell them all the time, if you're 26 and over, it's Dr. Ali. I work for that DR. But if you're 25 and under, It's Baba
Yeah.
Ali.
Yeah.
Baba Ali. That's Swahili, meaning a trusted adult, a friend, father figure. So the mother comes over to me. Baba Ali, let me talk to you. And she pointed to one of the young men. You need to make him leave. Him and my son are enemies. I said, sis, that's what this is for.
Yeah, it's exactly what this is for.
See, this
Yeah.
is us taking control of our youth without the intercession of the system, the police. Our youth are not their responsibility. They're our responsibility.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? On the 4th day, when the parents come back, the youth have to do a 3 to 5 minute presentation about aha moments or a part of the curriculum that especially resonated with them. Her son gets up and says, when I came here, I hated him, and now we're best friends.
Wow.
This is what From the Heart do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm not saying that other organizations aren't out here doing great work.
Right.
But for me, being able to see the evidence is everything, because sometimes we can't see the fruit of our labor. And that leads to compassion fatigue, burnout, discouragement.
All that.
But see, I'm energized like this all the time. People be like, yo, why are you
Yeah.
so lit all the time? I'm like, because I love what I do. I'm in my purpose.
It's purpose, power, passion. It's it's a light that you carry, man. And you know, last thing, again, we're gonna do this quite a few times. The main
we
thing,
out of time already.
the main thing I actually had you here for, which I knew we was gonna get it to the end.
Yes,
'cause
sir. Yes, sir.
This was a long time coming. Triggers.
Ooh.
Triggers. Come on, man. I'll let you. I ain't do your
Woo.
triggers.
Woo. Triggers, baby boy. SBG Marketing. My guy, Brian Gordeau, and Tef, Sean Garrison, right? We had the Triggers vision in 2018, 2019, right? In an effort to mitigate gun violence amongst our youth. In November of 2021, Aurora, Colorado was on a national public health crisis for 16 shootings in 30 days. All by young men who look like me and you, right? December of that same year was the first time we did Triggers. Now, people thought that it was in a response to what November had said for our beloved state. However, it wasn't. We had planned this. We had just planned to implement it, but the Most High set it up
Yeah.
to where the people were able to see the need. So the point with Triggers was, oh man, this is about to be so cold for you, because the first mini movie that we shot to premiere in 2021, we wanted to capture the lives of 3 urban youth, African-American youth from different upbringings. So we had one youth who was being brought up in the hood, no father figure, who got caught up in gang violence. The next youth, a mixed youth, being brought up in the suburbs, and what ends up happening is when his best friend overdoses on barbiturates, then he's triggered, and we show how these life experiences led to these triggers, which ultimately led to a troubled life. But the third youth, now see, this was so cold. This was so cold because see, I'm that guy. What I know about me is I'm gonna say what most are scared to say, and I'm gonna do what most are scared to do, and that's just been the trajectory.
Always
of my
been
life.
that way. Yeah.
That's been the trajectory of my life. So I was raised in a very hyper masculine culture. And, you know, the men in my family were homophobic. But in this work, there can be no phobias. There can be no stereotypes, right? A black man is a black man. Now, a black woman is a black woman. A white man is a white man. A white woman is a white woman. Let's see the people before we see their sexual preference or their religious preference or their political affiliation. Let's see their human nature.
Yeah.
So I said, I want this last character to be a member of the LGBT community. And so it took me about 3-4 months. I mean, actually, Sean Garrison, Tef, he found this young man. You know,
Yeah.
Doc, we got him. So I don't meet him until we get there to shoot. And when I get there, this young brother's in leopard skin, spandex outfit, purple suede high heel boots, a black fur vest, But I had already decided in my mind that before I see a gay black man, I'm gonna see a black man. So I hugged him up. What's up, King? How you doing? And then showered in it. And he's kind of looking at me like, damn, he ain't judging me.
Yeah.
So we go get the footage, and this dude killed it. He was an anomaly. He was a force of nature. So after we get the footage, I start talking to him like, bro, you know how talented you know how great you are. And he's sitting there. He's almost expressionless.
Yeah.
And I remember, brethren, I'll never forget this. This young man, telling him what we do. And he said, he stuck out his arm and he had a fresh tattoo. And he said, this is where I was gonna cut myself on my next suicide attempt.
Wow.
And imagine, see, in this realm, you have to keep your game face. You can't show that you shook. Cause I was shook.
Yeah.
And I was like, your next suicide attempt? Well, when was your last suicide attempt, young man? He said, 2 months ago, me and my best friend agreed we were gonna meet each other on the other side and kill ourselves at the same time. She succeeded and I failed. So I got this tattoo to honor her.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you wanna talk?
Man.
Come on, King.
Yeah.
So I got this tattoo to honor her. And I was gonna take my life about a month ago, but then I got a call to be in this mini movie, and it's the only reason I'm alive.
There it is.
Triggers, baby.
And that.
Triggers, baby.
It's triggers.
Triggers, baby.
Wow.
Woo! And I could say more, but I'll stop there.
Yeah. And that is triggers. And again, like I said, that right there was the main piece of, why I reached out. But I knew it was, again, man, this was a long time coming. Right on time. And that's just from me to you. Is full circle, like as I look at the From the Heart
Come on.
design, man. I remember you hit me up. I put that together because I love what it stood for. And now we in this space right now.
Come on, King.
And it's going to be much more of this, man. Like, again, the light that you carry, bro, again, and I'm going to wrap it. I'm going over my own time, but the light that you carry, even back when we first connected, back in the Don Blas days, back in that season that we was in, I always said, man, it's a little deeper than a rapper. And again, another reason why I do the connect is because I've been having these conversations. I just had one of my big homies, Tux, was on here, Xavier Davis, Zebu. These conversations all tie in because we all connected, through hip hop early on, when I'm just a young designer, beat maker dude. At some point that kind of way. And I always looked at y'all like, man, these personalities, these stories, this leadership, this ain't rappers. And even personally now, again, in this season, I listen to music differently. Everybody always told me I'm an old soul because I listen to soul music, I listen to jazz, I listen to all that. Of course, I'm a hip hop head too, but I've always been a backpacker type hip hop head. You know what I mean? So along the way, I landed in a space where it's like, I'm not this. I don't even consume this. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? So it's like now when I'm listening to music, I'm listening in a different way. I'm seeing it a different way, but I'm seeing the people that's producing the music a different way too. So I'm like, man, I see these young dudes that have powerful stories. And I'm like, bro, that's not, you're minimizing it by being a rapper. And that's not to discourage rap or anything like that. But it's like there's so many powerful voices that could be doing way more beyond putting it on a beat, man. That's why I salute what you're doing because you took that journey a way different way. It might have had some roadblocks and some reasons to do that, but yeah, man, you stepped into your light, brother, and I want to salute you for that.
Before we dip, because this is important, I feel like for everybody who's gonna bear witness to this, I always emphasize the fact that to control your own air. What does that mean, to control your own air? A lot of times there's something else thinking for us outside of ourselves. It could be childhood trauma. It could be the media. It could be Facebook. It could be music. It could be the movies.
Yeah.
It could be heredity through my grandfather believed like this, so this is how I'm going to believe. This is what my mama did, so this is what I'm going to do. So something's always thinking for us, and we're never thinking for ourselves. It could be our wives. It could be our family, our children. Something's always thinking for us. Mm-hmm. Fourth passage gives you permission to think for yourself and to ask yourself, to examine your thoughts and say, is this a self-driven thought? Is this me thinking? Is this the I in me saying that this is what I need to do? Is that so when I talk about control your own air, all I'm basically saying is think for yourself. And when we talk about mental health, as I entered into these spaces, brethren, all I do is suggest and teach people how to think for themselves. But you can't give what you don't have. So I've had to take ownership of my life and my thoughts and my mind.
Yeah.
In order to teach others how to think for themselves. So, bro, we liberated Dr. Ali, baby, from the heart.
That's what it is.
What is
man.
we doing?
Very last closing question. This is the end right here. Final question.
Brethren.
If I'm gonna remix this question a little bit, if you can go back in time to that season, to that passage of those Don Blas, that era of your life, and talk to Don Blas as Dr. Halim Ali, what would you say to him?
I would have to say, listen to your creator. Stop being arrogant. Get off of your high horse. Because yes, you're the man for now. You're the man for now.
Yeah.
See, right? Treat people right. Treat people better. Treat people better. Be kinder. You know what I'm saying? Smile more. Smile, boy. Take them glasses off. Every picture you seen Don Blas on, it was in glasses with a mug. With a mug.
Yeah.
Because I felt like that's who I had to be in order to personify this image that I was upholding.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now, oh man, yeah, that's what I'd say.
I like that.
Yeah,
man. Dr. Halim Ali, my man.
Love you, Frederick.
Yes, sir. Love you back.
All right.
It's a Connect Graffiti out.